What's up? It's Aaron from Bay Area Podcast Studio, and Prime Day is here from July 8th to the 11th, and I went through some deals and found some gear that you actually might want to check out, so let's run through it. First up, we got the Elgato Teleprompter going for $189, which is a crazy steal. If you don't have this yet, it is an absolute game changer. I use it all the time in the studio for client work. Clients need to read a script and they want to look at the camera, or even off camera, they just want to read a script and then be able to see it. It just comes in handy, and then also want to do remote podcasting work. For clients, they're able to, look at the camera and see the person, maintaining that eye contact. And if you're a content creator, I just think you should have this, because if you're tired of memorizing scripts, or, you feel like you're rushing through content, you're able to look at your script and look at the camera, directly. Or if you're a streamer and you want to see the chat and look at the chat instead of looking off to the side, I just think it comes in handy. My only thing is, Elgato, please if you can, make an XL version of this. It's an amazing product, but if you could just make it just a little bigger, the screen a little bigger, it'll be awesome. But for $189, this thing is an absolute steal. You should grab it. Up next, sticking with Elgato, we have the Elgato Cam Link 4K going for $80. It is a USB capture card for your camera, and what it does is just basically turns your camera into a high quality webcam. And I use it with the teleprompter, the Elgato Teleprompter. So hook the USB up to the computer, then the HDMI to the USB to my camera, and then I put the teleprompter on the camera, and then that way my clients are able to do, when they want to do remote podcasting or interview, they're able to see that person, and that person's able to see them. They're able to, give eye contact to the camera, and, just turn it into a high quality webcam. And usually my quality just blows, all the other studios out the water. I don't want to brag, but yeah, that's just how I accomplished that. So even for if you're a content creator or a streamer, and let's say you have a camera and you want to upgrade from a webcam to a camera, this is the way to go. The Elgato Cam Link, you just hook it up to your computer, from your computer to your camera, boom, you have a high quality webcam. Okay, next up we have this Neewer overhead camera mount rig, which I think is completely awesome. If you have a desk setup and you're looking for kind of like a one-stop shop where you can put your lights, your camera, your mics on one thing, I think you can achieve that with this. If you're ever on YouTube and just see desk setups, you can get ideas like that. This will be great because you have endless mounting options on how you want to do things, and you can, especially if you have a desk setup and your desk is not moving and stationary, and then just having all that set up where you can just turn everything on and just be ready to go. I think you can achieve that with this. And for $76, $77, I don't think that's a bad deal at all. All right, so let's move on to cameras. We got the Sony ZV-1F, a vlog camera, going for $448. I have had this camera before and used it before. I have sold it, but it's a great camera. I think it's a great beginner camera if you want to step up from your phone and just have a camera but not deal with interchangeable lenses just yet. I think this is a fine beginner camera. Now, if you don't mind spending a little more and you do want to have the ability to, change lenses, I would say get the Sony ZV-E10. It's going for $648. Unfortunately, because of the tariffs, the prices went up. So now that it's on sale, the sale price is the price it was before the tariffs, if that makes sense. So it sucks, but it's still a great camera, and you have endless lens options, and I'm going to share that later in the video, but endless lens options for this thing, and you can get really far with this camera. I've had this camera since it came out, and it has been my main workhorse. I've had replaced it with another camera, which we'll get into, but this camera is amazing. I've done professional work with this camera. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. This camera is great for what it is. You'll learn the limitations of this camera and work around it, and I'll share some accessories that'll go along with this thing to make it a powerful workhorse. So definitely, I would say grab the Sony ZV-E10. I would say don't get the kit lens. There are better lens options that are hella cheap, and like I said, we're gonna cover that. So for $648, I think it's a good deal. Now, another camera that unfortunately was affected by the tariffs is the Sony FX30. So the new price is $1949. So now it's on sale for $1748, but before, just like the ZV-E10, that's how it was. But I still think this is a hell of a camera. So I've had the Sony ZV-E10 for a while, and I've finally replaced that with an FX30, which I'm recording on right now. If you have the budget, let's say you've had the ZV-E10 and you're looking to upgrade, I would say get the FX30. This camera, oh my God, I think this is the best camera in that price range if you have the budget. If you don't have the budget for this, I would say get the ZV-E10 still. But if you do have the budget or you're looking to upgrade, get this camera. It has a built-in fan, so you don't have to worry about overheating. It's 10-bit. The autofocus is better than the ZV-E10, I'm not gonna lie. Especially if you're video focused, more of a video creator and not a photographer, this is the camera for you. Absolutely, I would say grab this camera. So going for $1748, I think it's a good deal if it's in your budget. Now you're probably saying, Aaron, I don't care about none of those cameras. I just want a decent webcam. I got you. This is the OBSBOT Tiny SE. It is 1080p, 100 frames per second, and it's going for 84 bucks. You can't beat that. I love OBSBOT. They make, to me, I think they make some of the best budget webcams on the market. So if whether you're streaming or you're podcasting, just making videos, I think this will just give you a really, really good look. I have the 4K version of this and I love it. I use it for meetings, but again, 1080p is still usable in 2025. Don't let nobody fool you. You really don't need 4K half the time, especially if you're streaming or you're gaming and you have the game is blown up, right? And you're just this little box in the corner. 1080p is fine. So you can definitely get away with that, especially for this price. I think it's really good. But if you have a little bit more in a budget, I would say get the OBSBOT Meet 2. This one is 4K and it is coming in at $99, which I think it's pretty damn good. You get a very nice compact size webcam at 4K for 100 bucks in 2025. Amazing. And if you do decide to pick up a ZV-E10, or if you already have one and you're looking for a camera cage, SmallRig does have one on sale for 40 bucks. Or if you decide to pick up the FX30 and you need a camera cage, or you already have a FX30, Neewer has a nice camera cage for $50. And if you do decide to pick up any of Sony's lower end camera like the ZV-E10 or the ZV-1F, pick up this Ulanzi cooling fan. So now the lower end cameras do tend to overheat when you shoot 4K, and to compensate for that, go in your settings and change your auto temp to high, and also keep this Ulanzi cooling fan on the back. Trust me, it comes in 2 speeds, 1 and 2, just keep it on 2. And if you can't, keep it plugged in if you're near an outlet. I use it all the time when I had the ZV-E. I still have one ZV-E10, I sold the rest, but I used it all the time on my ZV-E10s and I just kept it plugged in, and I never dealt with overheating. So definitely keep that in mind. All right, now we're moving on to the lenses. I am a Sony shooter if I haven't mentioned that, but a lot of these lenses come in different mounts, so look out for that. First up, we got the Viltrox 75mm f1.2 coming at $464. This lens is a steal. I have it, and oh my gosh, when it comes to video and like photography, this lens is good for both. It's just amazing. It's on par with any Sony lens. It's even on par with Sigma lenses. I put this with the Sigma 56. The Sigma 56 is probably like my favorite Sigma lens, and man, I use this, and especially if you want to go down on f1.2, man, that background is bokeh'd out. So definitely a great lens for photography and videography alike. This is just an amazing lens, and Viltrox has been killing it, and you're about to see that because they're pretty much this whole list. So moving on to the next, we have the Viltrox 27mm, and this is actually part of this same line as the 75mm. Viltrox has a pro line for the APS-C lenses, and it's the 75 and the 27, and the 27 is what I'm actually using right now to record this. I use it all the time for client work. It literally just stays on my camera. I used to use the Sigma 30 a lot for podcast shoots for my clients, but now I use the 27 and the f1.2 when you really want to get that blurred out background. Oh my gosh, that is just amazing. But I usually keep it like at f1.8, maybe 2.0, but still an amazing lens, and it's going for $462, and it doesn't leave the camera, and I think you should get it. So now we're done with the pro lenses, which were on sale, and I think there's a pretty good deal, but you're probably like, Aaron, I need something cheaper. I got you. Viltrox has an Air series of lenses, which are significantly cheaper, but they do not lack in quality. So first on the list, we have the Viltrox 25mm f1.7 going for 140 bucks. This usually goes for like 180, and even then that's a steal, but for 140, oh my gosh, it's a great lens. I do have this lens. I would say this is great for talking head videos like so. It goes down to f1.7, not f1.4, f1.2, but who cares? I think that's still good enough for this. The autofocus on that thing is freaking amazing. And let's say you grab a ZV-E10 and you just need a cheap quality lens real quick. You grab this, set it up, do talking head videos like this. I guarantee you're gonna look good. And then Viltrox has the 35mm f1.7, and this is going for 143 bucks. And I think, I would still use that as a talking head video like this. You just have to back it up a little more, but again, still amazing quality, great for photography as well, not just videography, great for both, and just amazing quality for just an affordable price. You can probably grab all 3 of these lenses for the price of one for your ZV-E10 or even your ZV-E10 II or whatever E mount that you have. And finally, Viltrox's 56mm f1.7 going for 144 bucks. That completes the 3 lenses, the 25, the 35, and the 56. They all look great. That's great for portrait photography and even portrait shots. I love the way a 56mm looks when it comes to, you know, when you're doing an interview with a person. Like, let's say you're doing a one-on-one corporate interview with someone. I love the second camera being like a 56mm, man. That's just something, that's just my favorite when it comes to like that. Like, just the 56mm just looks so great. And then when it comes to photos as well, I love 56, 75, 80, 85mm. I just love that range when it comes to photography as well. So just another great lens. All 3 of them are great. They have USB-C on the lens, so you can update them through Viltrox's website. Just download the firmware, upgrade them easy. Like, I think that should be a standard in cameras, by the way, USB-C on the lens for easy updates. And they all look great. I have all 3 of them. All 3 of the autofocus looks great. I believe I used the 56 on a shoot. I'll put it up somewhere on the screen, 56 or the 35. I can't remember which one I used, but I did bring it to a shoot with me with the Sigma 56, and they both look great. I definitely recommend all 3 lenses. You can grab all 3 for these prices for, you know, 1 lens. You know what I mean? And you can have 3 different lenses for these prices. It's just crazy. For 144 is crazy. I think next, Viltrox, they're probably going to make zoom lenses, and once they do that, oof, it's game over. And if you're looking for a more wider angle lens, you have the Viltrox 13mm going for $388. So it's a 13mm f1.4. I have this lens as well. It's an amazing lens. And then if you want to go even super wider than that, you can get the Yongnuo, has an 11mm 1.8 for $268, which is crazy because I think Sony has an 11mm for like almost 700 bucks. So you get this Yongnuo for $268, 11mm. I think it's a steal. That's perfect for vlogging and doing, you know, those really, you just want those really wide shots. This will be perfect for that. All right, so let's move on to lights. Next up, we have the SmallRig RC60C RGB LED light. Small, lightweight, and doesn't take up too much space. But if you want to go a little cheaper, I would say get the Zhiyun Molis G60. I love this light. Again, small, lightweight, powerful, doesn't take up too much space. Or if you want to go even cheaper than that, you can get the Neewer HS60B mini light. Again, small, powerful, doesn't take up too much space. Or if you want to go even cheaper than that, you can get the Ulanzi 40W Pro portable LED light. I like this light. I love all mini lights. This one is, you know, going for $67 and it has a 5% coupon on it. So, you know, go through each light, see which one works best for you, but they're all small. They're all powerful in their own way. And, you know, they don't take up too much space, which is, you know, great nowadays in content creation. You can even grab this Elgato key light for 60 bucks. Like, I have this, I use it for, you know, in conjunction with my webcam and, you know, just for nice quick lighting real quick when I'm doing meetings real quick. Nothing too fancy. Put it right there on your monitor, boom, or just get creative with the mounting however you want. All right, let's get into some creative lights. You have the SmallRig flashlight. This thing is cool because it comes with attachments that allow you to, you know, kind of add some flair to the background, or, you know, just use it as a spotlight. I'm actually using it right now to light this thing up right here. Yeah, so definitely a cool addition to have, coming in at 42 bucks. But if branding doesn't really matter to you, Neewer has the exact same version for 40 bucks. You know, what, $2 cheaper. So, you know, either or, you know, it might go down a little cheaper. One might have a coupon one of these days, but I have this one too. I have the Neewer version as well. They both work exactly the same. So just, you know, keep your options open. Next is some of my favorite lighting literally of the year. This is the Ulanzi UA20 20-watt bicolor tube light. They have 2 versions, a 20-watt version and a 12-watt version. The 20-watt version is coming in at $47 with a 10% off coupon. It's literally a tube light that you inflate and you can get hella creative with this. This is like just super lightweight. You can inflate it and then deflate it and just roll it up and put it up. So if you're looking for like something very lightweight to, you know, take what you want to go, you know, consider this. And if branding doesn't matter to you and you want something cheaper, Neewer has their own version of this and it's actually 21-watt going for $35. So you know you made it when Neewer made a copy of your stuff. And for an honorable mention, it doesn't have a Prime Day deal, but it does have a 10% coupon right now. It's the Ulanzi AL60 tube light. I'm actually using them right now to light me up. I've actually replaced all of my studio lights with these because they're super lightweight. They connect to an app and I can control it through my phone, and even my on-the-go podcast setup for clients, I use those lights on the go as well. They're amazing, they're powerful, they're lightweight. I think I'll do its own dedicated video on that. Now let's move on to microphones. We have the Elgato Wave Neo, a USB mic, and it sounds freaking amazing, going for 57 bucks. I have this, I use this. This is part of actually my desk setup. I use this for when I, take meetings and whatnot, and then when I do my own personal content and things like that. It is definitely a good microphone. It's Elgato, come on, it's gonna sound good. But if you're looking for something more wireless and very conspicuous, it's the Hollyland Lark M2. I'm actually using it right now to record this video. The whole thing comes for $95. I remember when this first dropped, it was like $150, I think. And now you get the whole thing for 95 bucks. I'm talking, you can connect it to your camera, you can connect it to your iPhone if you have a Lightning, and then you can connect it to your USB, your Android or iPhone with the USB-C, and you can even connect it to your laptop or your computer if you want to do a wireless, mic setup for streaming and whatnot. It's endless possibilities with this thing. So I personally think this is one of the best microphone deals when it comes to wireless mics, especially for your camera. If you're a content creator and you're just looking for a nice wireless mic, 95 bucks, you get all of this, and that's crazy. But if you want something a little less visible, you can grab the Hollyland Lark M2S. This thing, once it's on, you can barely see it, and then the whole thing comes for $120. Which is like absolutely mind-boggling. So you get the receiver if you want to attach it to your camera, if you want to attach it to your iPhone, you want to attach it to your old iPhone comes with the Lightning or the USB-C, you can connect it to your computer. Again, just like the Lark 2, but this one is more like smaller and more compact, more hidden. And I love this. I use this when it comes to client work for when I'm doing like interviews, like a corporate interview or whatnot. And I mic them up with this, not really able to see it on camera. That's why I love it. It's just it can be so hidden, and it just sounds great too, just like the Lark M2. It just sounds great. So when it comes to mics, man, I think Hollyland just has been killing it. And another brand that has been killing it with the audio is Comica, and Comica right now has their new Boom Max wireless system for $151, which is great because it's 32-bit flow and it has internal recording of 32 gigs, and it comes with the microphone jack and whatnot. So if you're looking for 32-bit flow and internal recording, I would say this is the way to go. And sticking with Comica, they got the Comica Vimo Q, which is going for $189, and this one has 4 mics. And what I love about this, I put it in quad mode, I connect it to the Zoom, and everybody, gets their own track, and I'm able to really do what I got to do post. That's how I like everybody to have their own individual track, and I like to, edit everybody's vocals, differently instead of just having one track of everybody talking. But if you don't care about any of that and you just want something even a little cheaper, then you can't go wrong with the Neewer CM31. It has 8 GB internal storage and it records at 24-bit, and it's coming in at $81. And if you want something even cheaper than that, you can get the Neewer CM28 Pro. That's coming in at $65 or $66 and 16-bit, and it has internal recording storage up to 4 GB. So, you can't go wrong with any of them. I've tried all of them. All of them sound good. So I would say the best bang for your buck would be the Lark M2. The second would be the Lark M2S, and everything else would be depending on how your budget is, what you need and whatnot. So I would definitely say don't just blindly buy anything. Just literally go through it, see what you need, see what the budget allows, and just go from there. And if you're looking for a lav mic to plug into a wireless mic, because some of those mics allow you to plug in a lav mic, and some people like lav mics, I do myself as well, you can get this 2-pack Neewer LM5 for 14 bucks. All right, so now let's power up. If you're looking for some V-mount batteries for your camera rig, Neewer has this 150 watt-hour battery for 108 bucks, which is not bad. If you want to go a little cheaper, they have this 99 watt-hour battery for 84 bucks. And then moving on to a different brand, this Power Extra V-mount battery is coming in at $101. It is a 155 watt-hour battery. I do have this, and I've used this for shoots, and it literally lasts me like all day. First Power has a cheaper one. This one's a 72 watt-hour. It doesn't last as long, but this is for 42 bucks. I have this. I've used this to power up my Ulanzi inflatable lights, and these last me about half the day. And with I want to say I had the lights probably like at 20%, and it lasts me for a good 4 hours. for half the day of the shoot. And if you're looking for a battery to power up your film monitor, SmallRig has this F970 battery going for 56 bucks. SmallRig is just a great overall brand. I have no complaints about them, and it's pretty fancy, has a screen and all that stuff. But if you don't care for that fancy stuff, you can go a little cheaper and get the Neewer version. They have a version of a F970 battery, but this one you get two for $45. It doesn't come with a screen and all that, but hey, you know, it's just as powerful. It'll last you just as long. I do have this one and I use it for my film monitors, and yeah. And if you're looking for all day power for your Sony camera, like your A6000, A64, 65, ZV-E10, if it takes those batteries, I would say get a dummy battery. I always recommend a dummy battery, and this one from Go9 is going for 20 bucks, 1973, 20 bucks basically. It is, I have this, I've used this with my ZV-E10s, and I have had zero issues with them. They work perfectly fine. No overheating, no messages, nothing. That's just my personal experience. I know Sony has their first party version, but I can't find it. But I've had this Go9 and it's way cheaper. I want to say Sony's was like 100 bucks. This Go9 is 20 bucks. And like I said, I've been using this for years as a dummy battery, and you should get it too, especially if you're stationary in a studio like this. I use dummy batteries for literally everything. And same goes if you have a FX30 or the FZ100. The camera takes the FZ100 battery. Neewer has their version of a dummy battery too, and that's what I'm using right now to power up my FX30. You know, it's going for 28 bucks. SmallRig has their version too. I'll put that on screen. And yeah, either or, whatever's cheaper, whatever you want to go for, they both work. I have both the SmallRig and the Neewer version. Whatever's cheaper, whatever cheaper when you're seeing this, whatever, they both work. All right, real quick, let's move on to memory. If you're looking for storage, you cannot go wrong with the Samsung T7. It's a portable SSD. It is super fast. I use it to edit, you know, podcasts for my clients on and things like that. And I also recommend it to my clients to bring, because when the session is done, I give everything to my client, because most people take it for post-production. And if you're looking for SD cards, especially V90 cards, if you know, V90 cards can get very, very pricey. So Brent has their 128 gigabyte V90 card going for 72 bucks. If you want to go a little lower and get the V60, they have a version of their V60 for $20, which is pretty good because you can get a V30 for $20. So might as well just go ahead and get a V60 because it's faster. So moving on, we're at the end. We're almost done here. You know, there's plenty of deals. I try to get as much as I can. You got the Fifine low profile boom arm for $40. I absolutely love this arm. It's comparable to the Elgato version, but if you don't want to pay 70, 80 bucks, you can get this for 40. I use this all over the studio, literally for years now. But if you don't want, you know, a mic arm, you know, you don't want to clamp nothing, you just want it on your desk, you can get the Elgato desk one. Their desk stand is on sale for $50, right? And if you don't care about brand and you want to go even cheaper than that, InnoGear has their version for $34, and it's literally the same as the Elgato. Like literally, I have the InnoGear version and I have a pod mic on it. And if you know anything about a pod mic, they're heavy as hell, and it is able to hold the pod mic without tipping over. Care about branding? Hey, Elgato is on sale. If you don't care about branding, InnoGear is cheaper and is damn near the same thing. So pick wisely, whatever you want. Now let's say you're looking for a floor mic stand. InnoGear has this one where it's not a tripod, it's a weighted base, and that's what I like about it. I use that in the studio on this set I have over there for clients. I absolutely love it, and I take it for mobile work as well. And let's say you have a camera rig. You do not, trust me, you do not want to buy a crappy $14 tripod. I tell people this all the time. You have a $2,000 camera, but you bought a $14 tripod. It's like, you're tripping. Definitely, I would say invest in a good tripod. And if you're looking for a heavy duty tripod, Neewer has one for $63. This Neewer basic tripod, I do have this tripod. I took it out on shoots. Heavy duty, it works. And I build up my camera to a miniature rig, you know, V mounts and whatnot, and it holds it well. It's smooth. You know, it does what it has to do. So definitely check this out, because I know heavy duty tripods can get very expensive, and I want to say this is a really happy medium. And real quick, if you're just looking for a cheap starter film monitor, this DesView P5 II film monitors going for $79. I have two of these. I use these for mobile shoots all the time. Good starter film monitor, I would say. And last but not least, if you're looking for just a nice bag to put your stuff in, put your lights in, this Ulanzi carry-on bag is going for $51, and it has a 10% coupon. I love Ulanzi. They make very good, affordable photography, videography stuff, like just for the creators. And this bag, I do have this bag. Again, I use this. I put my materials in here, my V-mount batteries, my inflatable tube lights. I put them all in there, and yeah, they they hold up well. All right, folks, that's all I got for you today. I'll leave everything linked down below. And if I missed anything, let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for ways to improve my setup, my mobile setup, your studio setup, my desk setup, whatever. I'm always looking for just cool gear that'll, you know, just help make things easier. So for sure, I'll keep my eyes out for the next couple of days for more deals for y'all. And until next time, peace.